We've got some good news. Anthony Gordon has just signed a long-term deal at Newcastle United. Yes, welcome back to Newcastle Fans TV. Yes, we lost at the weekend, but guess what? Anthony Gordon, the man that we bought off the Scouse Mackhams for £40 million, has signed a long-term deal. The 23-year-old has scored 15 goals in 74 appearances for Newcastle United. Of course, there was a little bit of pressure when he first signed, particularly in that first 6 months, right in the January. A lot of talk whether can he actually make it at this level. Well, of course he can, because he's been brilliant. He's been outstanding. He was Newcastle United's player of the season last year. And big shoes, really, with Alan St. Maximin leaving the football club. Yes, Alan St. Maximin didn't have the stats, really, to back up the appearances and, you know, all the games that he played for Newcastle, particularly towards the end of his tenure at Newcastle. But Anthony Gordon has been absolutely outstanding since he's been at this football club. He's really gone from one level to the next. And it was really interesting to hear from Eddie Howe and Paul Mitchell, who have both been singing his praises. Eddie Howe is basically saying there's even more to come from Anthony Gordon. And Paul Mitchell, of course, if you see on Newcastle United's website as well, and their app, that there's Paul Mitchell, Eddie Howe and Anthony Gordon, all with big beaming, smiling faces, which is absolutely fantastic to see. And it's well-deserved. It is well-deserved for, you know, the Scouser, who's now a Geordie. He's been absolutely brilliant. He is our best left winger. He is our best winger at the football club. And, you know, maybe he hasn't hit the heights so far this season, but he still contributed in certain factors. Obviously, the goal against Bournemouth, where we didn't play very, very well. And, you know, you almost think, in terms of going forward this season for Newcastle, he's still been Newcastle's biggest threat. You always feel that when he's got the ball at his feet, he can do something. He's got that excitement about him, which is fantastic to see. And the partnership with Alexander Isak, particularly last season, was really, really good. And it developed into, an almighty two when you think about it. Obviously, that right-hand side, we need somebody to take that right-hand side by storm. But in terms of the left-hand side, Anthony Gordon with Harvey Barnes pushing him, yeah, I like the sound of that if we can get that right-hand side sorted as well in the long run. But yeah, fantastic news, great news. A 23-year-old lad wanting to commit his long-term future. Look, we don't know how long the contract is, unfortunately, but you'd like to think he's going to be, obviously with a long-term, he's going to be reaching 30 by the time this contract ends. He's obviously got a pay rise as well for his performances, but it's a statement. It's a real statement from Newcastle United, because there's always been links with the big players going to other clubs, and Anthony Gordon was a big player last season for Newcastle. But no more of that, because Liverpool was sniffing in the summer because we couldn't sell an Anderson or a Mint at the time. Obviously we did, but that probably accelerated the transfer talk. Now, you still got Isak, which we could probably do with extending his deal. We've got Bruno. I know he extended his deal last year, but that's never going to go away. But when you see Anthony Gordon sign a new deal, Alexander Isak might think, actually, do you know what? This club are actually going somewhere. They want to do something. And that might tempt him to sign a new deal, might tempt the likes of Bruno to sign a new deal. It tempted Joe Linton as well. So it is great things, all concerning Newcastle United. But the biggest thing that I got from that statement, what Anthony Gordon wants to do, he wants to be a part of that team that wins the first trophy at Newcastle United. You know, what a feeling, what a moment that could be. And, you know, it's still everybody's dream. It's my dream, whether it be the Carabao Cup or the FA Cup, it doesn't really matter. To win that trophy, to get that parade, to see somebody have that moment at Wembley in the final, well, could that be Anthony Gordon? I really, really hope so, because if anyone deserves it, maybe he does. But we've got to get through Chelsea next week. We've got double dose of Chelsea this week. Chelsea on Sunday at Stamford Bridge. Lee will be there for us. And then at St James's Park next Wednesday in the Carabao Cup last 16. Not many games away from Wembley. You never know. You never know. But we have to get past a very difficult Chelsea team nonetheless. But what do you make of it? Fantastic news for Newcastle United fans. I'm buzzing about it. I'm really, really happy about it, that Anthony Gordon has dedicated his future to Newcastle United Football Club. Yeah, get your comments in, like and subscribe to Newcastle Fans TV, and we'll see you all very soon.